Welcome to Rise and Shine Daily Business Tech Boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and break them down into bite-sized tips you can use right away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and shine with your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 518 today, and I'm a little more casual. I'm going to try and get the day off. It is a public holiday here. Not that I often get public holidays, but there you go. 517. I'm going to sort of flip on back to, do I need to update my WordPress website? I keep getting asked these questions by people. So I'm going to keep answering the question for you. Yes, you need to keep your WordPress website up to date. Now, what do we mean by keeping your WordPress website up to date? It means keeping all of your plugins and WordPress and themes up to date. So when you log into your WP admin dashboard, you'll see a notice saying you have X number of updates due. Now that's under dashboard updates. There's a little option there. You can go and have a look at what's due. You can go down to your plugins menu and it will show you what updates are required. You can go to your appearance themes menu and you can see what's required there as well. Now, if you go to dashboard updates, it will show you everything on the one thing. It will show you WordPress, it will show you plugins, it will show you themes, and it will show you things like language files as well that need updating. Now, the language files aren't quite as important. They're normally updates on translations into different languages. If you've just installed the US version, ENUS version of WordPress, there won't be any language files. If you've installed, strangely enough, the ENAU version, there will be a language file, and other versions that aren't in English will also have language files. Slight digression, they're not as important, but if they're available, you should be installing them and updating them. But you must update WordPress plugins and themes regularly. Now, why? Because sometimes there's a functionality update which you want to take advantage of at some point in the future. You may not need it now. You probably will want it later on. So if we're talking about WordPress in itself, WordPress is constantly innovating. It's constantly advancing and making changes to the core software, what we call the core software. Now, when that happens, plugins will update to take advantage of that. So you've got this rolling thing of there's been an innovation here, the plugins need to update, now they're taking advantage of it. If you don't have them in sync, it's not going to work for you. Something's going to break and something's going to fail and your website won't work. The other thing that happens is security updates, and they're the most important things that we need to get installed. Now, it's really difficult unless you troll through the release notes to determine whether it's just a security update, whether it's just a functionality update. Just a security update, just a functionality update, or both. Now, normally it's both. Normally there's a little bit of functionality. Normally there's a security patch. Security patches are important. Why are security patches important? Because once the update goes live, the release notes come out with it that say this security vulnerability was patched. Hackers love it. Hackers use those release notes. I know it seems stupid, right? We release notes that tell hackers what to hit, but they look at those notes and go, oh, there is a hole that we can exploit. And then they go and find older versions of WordPress and try and exploit that hole in the security, which is why you need to update it. Why don't we just not release the release notes? Well, great, but for people like me, for a hacker like me, for a developer like me, finding out what the updates are is really important. So I know that whether I need to update core code, whether I need to update code I've done in themes, whether I need to update plugins, whether I need to make changes to code that I've written for WordPress is important. So for developers, those release notes are key. For hackers, Well, that's just an unfortunate side effect. And the side effect is easily addressed by making sure we keep WordPress up to date. So yes, please keep your WordPress, your themes, your plugins up to date. How often? As often as you can. I tend to do my updates weekly unless I get a major security upgrade through, and it comes through, it says this is a major update, you need to get it in. Then it's all hands on deck and we get it applied as soon as we can, like within hours, if not minutes of that announcement coming out. You can simplify your updates. There's two ways you can do it. You can outsource them to people like me. I have a number of customers under management, and every week I go through and I run updates on people's sites. I make sure their sites are still running. I make sure that we know what is outdated, what needs replacing. Sometimes when we run our updates, it says, no, we can't update this plugin. It no longer runs on this version of PHP. No, we can no longer update this plugin. Sometimes plugins don't update for a long time. When we notice it, we're like, no, let's go and have a look at that one. That one's actually aging out. We need to replace it because we know that that version that it was running on is a bit dodgy. So we want to replace it with something else that's newer, modern, addresses a lot of the security concerns that existed back then. And sometimes the updates, when we update WordPress, the plugins themselves just fail, or the theme itself just fails because WordPress has what deprecated. So deprecation, lots of terms in this, right? Deprecation means, or deprecating means, that there is a function that existed and that exists for a while, and then they introduce a new function and they'll keep that old function in the core, in the software, so that older things will run on it. So there's a bit of backwards compatibility. And we as developers will get told, this function's been deprecated, you need to start moving things to use this new function. Some developers don't do that. Some developers have put out a plugin and then not touched it again. Like it could be years old. And then all of a sudden, and when I say all of a sudden, we are told that this function is not going to be in the next release. So the function's been deprecated and then it's been removed. Once that function is removed, anything that uses that function can't work anymore. And it can't work anymore because that function no longer exists. So then we start getting WordPress websites that just fail. It comes up and says there's been an error. Troubleshooting WordPress, go and have a look here. And we have to find which plugin it is that's not working. We have to go in and either replace the plugin or change the code to work with the new version of WordPress. So you can outsource those sorts of updates to people like me. You can outsource your updates to people like me. I have a service, it's a monthly service, and we do updates every week. And as I said, as part of those updates, we also will find things that have failed and replace them, or make recommendations on what needs to be done to keep the site running. There are services out there that will automate those functionalities. Now, WPMU DEV is one of them. That is one of the services I use. I don't actually use the pure automate function. I have it running on some of my own personal sites. The ones that aren't mission critical to me, the ones that if they fail because the automation hasn't, the automated updates have caused a problem, I'm not so worried about. For my production sites, for my mission critical sites, for sites that businesses are using to run their business, I tend to not use it. I like to see the updates go through. I like to see the reports. I like to understand what's going on. But there is an automate function that is, I'm going to say it's 75, 80% great. I'm never ever going to say something's 100% great and that it works without failure, but it's 80% great. If you don't want to be paying a monthly fee to someone to do your updates and you want something just to run in the background that you can monitor, the WPMU DEV automate function is fantastic. I recommend you go have a look at it. And to that end, I've got the link in the show notes. It is an affiliate link. I will get a small reward if you take a paid account with WPMU DEV. They do have free accounts that you can sign up for and get some functionality out of. So yes, the answer to the original question is yes, you do have to update your WordPress website. If you've logged in and you see plugins need updating, they need to be updated. If you are concerned that the updates will break the site, make sure you take backups of it. I do have podcast episodes on backing up your WordPress website. And if you are still concerned that it's not going to work and it's going to break your site and you don't want to mess around with trying to get it fixed, contact someone like me who can help you out. But please, please, please keep your WordPress websites up to date. Keep your plugins, your WordPress, your themes all up to date. You will thank me one day when you come to do something and it goes, yep, this is all just working fine, rather than having to come to someone like me 2 years down the track and say, I need to update my site and everything is broken because I've tried it and nothing is working. So please keep things up to date, guys. That's my imploration. That's what I'm imploring you to do today. Thanks, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, so let me just finish all this off. If you've got any comments, questions, statements on what I've said today, leave comments wherever you're watching or listening to this video. Come across to my locals community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com, designed for business owners who want to get a better handle on their tech. If this video has been helpful, you can tell I'm having a really slow day. Please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.